I got to tell you this. Give Mike Johnson all the credit in the world for telling the House we're not stopping until we meet President Trump's stated goal. President Trump said, look, I want to do this. I know we can do this in a few days if need be, but I want to put my name on this on Friday, on our nation's birthday, on Independence Day. That's when I want to have the signing ceremony for the cornerstone piece of the president's domestic agenda. This bill, the formerly named Big Beautiful Bill, Chuck Schumer officially stripped that out when he was when this was being debated on the Senate floor 2 nights ago. But the Big Beautiful Bill is what we're still going to call it. I want to put my name on that on America's birthday, coinciding with the launch of, obviously our 250th year as we get set for that huge celebration next year. They're working very, very hard to get it done. Kudos to Mike Johnson. He wants to get this done, and it may not necessarily be the favorite thing in the world for fiscal conservatives to see happening, but I have to tell you, this is exactly what has to happen and when it has to happen. President Trump is right. I'm gonna tell you something here. There's a ticking clock that not everybody is paying attention to. Some people are. People who are dialed in and know exactly what 2026 means in the grand scheme of things. But let me just kind of break it down in as elementary of a fashion as we can. I had some conservative folks that I talk to on a regular basis. I'm in a group chat on a number of different platforms, including Signal, by the way. I have no problem with Signal. I have no problem with Pete Hegseth using Signal or anything else, going back to that story. But I got group chats with conservative groups. And then, of course, there's online conversations with folks in the social media sphere. And by the way, if you're interested in following me on social media, please do. I would love to have you. Trying to grow the platform always. I've got Strictly Speaking with Bob France accounts on Truth Social, which I don't use enough, by the way. I use it primarily to read President Trump stuff, but I don't truth very much on it. But Truth Social, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and also on a couple of the video platforms on Rumble and on YouTube. Just look for Strictly Speaking with Bob France. But in some of those engagements with folks on the platforms and with the group chats, there are some conservative Trump supporters, and I'm talking red hat wearers. I'm talking about the real MAGA people who absolutely support President Trump, 100% of the way and always have, but who are very, very upset about the Big Beautiful Bill being pushed forward now. And the reason is because of the deficit issues. Deficit spending is indeed bankrupting this country, increasing the debt ceiling by not $4, but potentially $5 trillion. Adding, Lord only knows how much to our close to $37 trillion in national debt. They're very nearly $2 trillion in deficits, in the operating budget deficits. So these are supporters of President Trump whose fiscal restraint and fiscal sanity have them saying, don't pass this in its current form. We cannot afford it. Talking about the obvious future generations argument. Our children and our grandchildren will never forgive us for passing this much debt on to them, and so on and so forth. And they're all good folks, and they're not wrong about that part. But this is what I have been trying to get through to them in all of my conversations off of the radio. And I'll share it with you now. The clock is ticking faster than you can imagine. We are already now into July. That means we are about 6 months into President Trump's 2-year term. Okay? I didn't misspeak. I said his 2-year term. If President Trump's agenda is not passed and implemented and bearing fruit by, I would say, probably June of next year, then President Trump's term ends in November of next year. Do you follow what I'm saying? He's only got a 2-year window to get all of the things done that he promised to get done, or else the nation gives the power back to the Democrats. So we're roughly 17-ish months, 16, 17 months away from the midterm elections. President Trump has maybe 12 of those to convince everybody that what I promised I would do is working. What I promised I would do, I am doing, and it's working. That tree we planted November 5th, 2024, is bearing fruit. It's working. Prices are down. Energy costs are down. Energy has been unleashed. All of the ridiculous Green New scam mandates and spending is gone. We did what we said we would do when it came to shutting that border down. And not only shutting the border down to stop the invasion that was ongoing for 4 solid Biden years, but to deport those who came during the invasion of the 4 solid Biden years. We have to stop that 10, 12, 15, 20 million member invasion. And I call them members because I feel like they're members of, a military. It was almost like a military invasion when you look at the number of people who came from, geopolitical enemies of the United States, screaming asylum and everything else. I mean, it truly was an invasion, not just hordes of migrant farm workers, as the left wants you to believe. But the point being, they are going to have a huge impact on the actual representative makeup, the apportionment of congressional seats in this country because of where they reside when they come over. And of course, we know about the outdated, I believe, rule that says the census counts everybody, not just citizens, including illegals who come here. They get counted, and it impacts, obviously, the apportionment of representatives to the House. So all of these things President Trump spotlighted and said, this is what we have to do and this is what we have to stop, and here's how we're going to stop it. He was very clear. You remember, in the Trump campaign, in the 12 months leading up to November 5th when he won, there was no ambiguity. There was no, waffling. It was very, very clear what he said he wanted to do and what he said we had to do. And you know what the American people did? They listened. They listened to him, and then they listened to the Democrat. And I'll say that just generally because for half of the campaign, they listened to stumbling, mumbling, this corpse of Skeletor Joe Biden up on the stage and at the speeches and so forth. And then the other half, of course, it was Cackler. So the people listened to both of them and they said, yeah, we want what Trump is selling. We're buying what Trump is selling. And the moderates who put him and all of us over the top. And I know I'm getting pretty politically heavy here in our first segment this morning, and I hope it's okay. But while they're debating on Capitol Hill, I feel like we need to tell the truth about what's going on right now. The moderates in those 7 swing states who all brought it home for Donald Trump to give him that 312 electoral votes, the moderates and, the centrists who said, yeah, I'll go this way this time, because what he is saying, again, without ambiguity, without, misunderstandings, directly, we're going to seal the border. We're going to have the largest deportation force in history. We're going to have the largest tax cut in history that's going to be not only extended, but made permanent. We are going to bring school choice. We are going to rebuild the military that was decimated under the wokeness of Joe Biden and his administration. The country's not going to be run by men in dresses anymore. We're going to do all of these things. The moderates said, yeah, check, we're in. 312 votes, electoral votes later, a popular vote later, 7 swing states later. If President Trump doesn't deliver on all of those things or put us on that path in the next 12 months, then in 17 months when they go to vote, the Democrats take it all back. That's why tick, 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 tick. The clock is ticking now, and this has to be done now. When President Trump said get it done by Friday, it was obviously a wish, not a command, because unbeknownst to the left, we don't have kings, and he is not a king, but he is asking for the Congress to bring this to him now. It's not just for the symbolism of signing it on the 4th of July. It is also because we only have a certain amount of time before all of this actually starts to take shape. And it is coming faster, or it is going faster than you can imagine. The breakneck speed of the Trump administration Operation Warp Speed? No, this is Operation Trump Speed. It has made the last 6 months fly by. The next 12 are going to fly by as well. It better fly with the agenda of the Trump administration being passed. So I don't like the spending either. It's not a perfect bill. It is in no way perfect, but it is absolutely necessary. It's the cornerstone of what Trump told the country, including all of the moderates who are going to decide the power in 2026 as well, the majorities. Make no mistake about it. Those individuals need to see what they were promised by President Trump. So that's what this is about.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.